Alright, guys, how's everybody doing today? This is your boy Lewis with Demigods Gaming. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today, we are working on our continuing the upgrades from yesterday at the base. So, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue the process of getting the base fully upgraded. Now, on yesterday's stream episode, we got it to where it's the perfect start. Now, from here, we're going to work on going to the next step, which is upgrading to the industrial refinery, industrial assembler, and get our cargo containers down. And from there, having our 3 cargo containers, so when we run Izzy's, it becomes a self-automated base. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward. All right, so first things first, let's get get ourselves situated and going. Industrial refinery. Make sure we'll build a couple batteries. Get our battery stuff that we assembled last night. Man, these wolves are brutal. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put some batteries down so we can start the base can start charging. And of course, the infamous space engineer's motto: energy low. Alright, let's go ahead and get us some energy. I did do some stuff off recording. I ended up upgrading all the tools as best as I could, just to help us with the welding process. Additional to that, we did, like I said, we finished up our solar panel system, so that's all set, good to go. Alright, we're going to keep on going. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and build these batteries up. It's like everything should have been produced. Alright, there we go. Boom. Now we have our batteries charging up. So with the batteries charging up and the windmill and the solar panel following the sun, the base should start slowly charging itself up. So trying to see. Alright, these are red because everything's traveling through it just right. Oh well, might as well just roll with it. Alright, let's go ahead and get our Industrial Refinery going. Now, you have two fineries you could do. You could do the regular base game and Industrial Refinery. I like the Industrial Refinery just because of the look. The Industrial Assembler, I like it as well due to the regular game assembler. Due to the fact is it gives you the chance to put four mods versus two and half of one. So we're gonna go ahead and get those producing. All right, while those are fabricating, I am going to troubleshoot this real quick. See what's going on. Recharge. Those are producing. Let's see what do we need because it's gonna take it a minute. All right, so I'm gonna need some nickel. No nickel. We're okay on. Looks like we burned through some cobalt. So let's go ahead and get some cobalt going. Get us some more cobalt and iron because we're about to burn through a lot of iron doing this. Let's go ahead and go to our iron spot. So situated. All right, let's go. All right, so you're right here at the iron spot. So let's go ahead and go on the town. Turn on our sorter so we can get rid of if I collect any stone in the process. This is a moment we can sit down and jam it out. So iron is going to be something you guys will burn through a lot while playing this game. Just to give you a heads up. It's about everything in the game feels like it requires you to have iron. So those of you that are watching, just keep that in mind. It's very important. One of the few things besides cobalt, like I said yesterday, iron is number one, and then cobalt will be number two. Luckily, when you're playing the game, you will find out and learn that with the cobalt, it's usually over there by the iron deposit. Oh, see, ship's a little bit heavy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to take some of the load off the ship. See if that helps. Yep, that helped. So it's a little trick that you can do. If your ship gets too heavy, go ahead and put it in your character's inventory. Like we talked about on yesterday's stream and episode, that somehow the game mechanics itself, oop, that's the wrong base. The game mechanic itself doesn't let you, it doesn't affect it if it's on your character versus it being on the ship. Don't know why it does that, but it does that. All right, let that do its thing. It's interesting that that's showing red, but it's running through the system. Normally, when you see those lines showing red, it's because something's not connected right or it has no power. But the base is running, it has power. I don't know. I ran into that a couple times myself during other playthroughs. Alright, we got iron. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And the process is going to take a minute to get all those. So, between both of the ships, I am going to go and I'm using both of my ships. The one that we built yesterday during the stream. And I'm also using my little ship that I use when I'm playing. Once we get the base fully upgraded, our next step is going to be, I do have ice filling up the hydrogen tank. So once we get the base up and going, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move forward and do the process to start building our first space miner. With the space miner, I like to build it a certain way. I may switch it up because one of the things I don't do in this game is use the printing system. So it's not like I have a blueprint. I do have blueprints for certain things that I saved builds, but it's more to put them on the workshop because, in my opinion, I believe that they were pretty good builds. But in addition to that, I don't make a printer. I don't make a printing station. I don't do none of that. I like to build my ships. That's why no two of my ships ever look the same because I always try to look for different ways to improve them, make them better, make them more efficient. However you guys want to word it. Oop, there you go. Let's collect us some cobalt. Once we collect some cobalt, we will continue with the next step. There, we got enough cobalt collected. So as you see what I was saying, usually when you find iron, you'll see cobalt not too far away from it. At least on Earth. Notice on Triton is a little bit different. Oh, there. You see those little rocks? Kind of something I want to point out to you guys that are new to the game. Other folks that have been playing the game for a while, you guys already kind of know this. If you look at this rock, see that's an iron rock. Sometimes you can find those, and they randomly spawn in on the worlds. And what they do is they just help you get a little bit of extra resources. They're nice. Usually, a lot of times I have a difficult time finding either gold or silver on an Earth planet. This does help us. This does help me out with enough to get my mods going for the generator as well as for the for the refinery as well as for our assembler. Gotta do since we still have a little bit. Let's see if I can find something. Oh, well, there goes my connector and my forward thrusters. Let's do some repairs. I don't feel like that's where you got to be careful when you guys are doing stuff. So let's get this repaired back up. That was partially my fault. I got too happy going down and made my life harder, as we can say. I love it when I do that. So that's why I said with you guys, the only downside when you guys are playing this game, you have to be careful due to the fact that you guys can do what I just did. So that will happen. You will crash. I've done it, and I've had multiple hours playing this game. So it's not like it's not gonna happen. It's just gonna happen because you're flying. You think you're cruising good, and next thing you know, kapoosh, you crash. Luckily, the owners have given me the ability to use a little bit of my admin powers, but I kind of don't want to do that because I actually enjoy playing the game. But in this instance, I'm too far from the base. I don't want to be flying back and forth to make the repairs and have all the stuff. What do we have over here? I think I've already dug this out. So if you take a look, my ship's heavy. Oh, there's some silver that we can use for sure. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage and collect that silver. I will eventually build at some point, build a bigger miner. just so my mining trips are more efficient. Get rid of some of that stone. Let's back it up a little bit so it's not so loud for you guys. All right, sit back, hang out for a second, and let the miner do its thing. So let's go fix my battery. In this case, we're just going to do a quick fix. Now we have it all set up. It's another reason why we were probably heavy. We were carrying so much stone. Do you know what? I'm going to keep the stone because I'm going to convert that to some of the resources so we can get it up and going. But we know there's a silver rock right there, not too far from the base. So if some of my playthroughs have reminded me correctly, if there's a silver rock there, odds are there is silver and gold in that area. Somewhere in that vicinity. Alright, we're going to keep on going. So let that do his thing. So you take a look. Look. They were red before, now they're green. So it's one of those, it's just got to keep an eye out for it. Alright. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start our setup. So what we're going to want to do is we want to get six of these welded up. By getting six of these welded up, it will give us enough because the refinery itself covers six of these boxes. So we're going to go ahead and get this going. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put down the refinery. Actually, four. I was wrong. Plus this, I like the aesthetic of it. I think it looks really slick. Good morning, Britt. How you doing today? Alright, once we got that done, we're going to keep on building this one up, and then I'm going to attach a converter here, and then what I like to do is run it along the ground. My conveyor, I run it to the ground, and I'll attach it to here for the time being. Then from there, everything in my bases I like to do because I don't want to have the pipes or the tubing or conveyors going all over the place. So what I like to do is go around and have everything going. Hey, thanks for stopping up to today's stream. How you doing today? Then what I like to do is go through and it gives it a nice clean look. All right, so let's go ahead and get some more stuff. All right, now that we have that assembled, next thing I want to do is we want to do a conveyor. I need this. All right, so make sure the crucial part when you guys are playing the game, you guys need to make sure that your connectors are matching up. So the best way to tell, if you look at it, see, everything is matching up. Those are you that are new to the game. All right, now that we have that, next step we're going to do, we're going to add a curved one. Let's do that right there. And then from there, you are going to get your assembler. With this industrial assembler, you do want to leave it a little bit lifted up because if you take a look, you have some connectors for mods on the top and on the bottom and along the back. This is why I like using this one versus the game's base one because you only get so much spacing for mods. So with the industrial one, it does make it more efficient. It's one of those quality of life changes that the developers added to the game. So we're going to get that going assembled. All right. So one of the key components is once you have this fully assembled, turn it off. Because by default, when you go to make stuff off of your build planner, it's going to want to send it here. But at the moment, we don't have a connection system to this. So once it's fully assembled, go ahead and, excuse me, make sure you attach that. You shut it off. So if you take a look, what I do is I go here, go to production. See, by default, it wants to send it there. So what I do, industrial assembler, I turn it off. Just for the time being. Because then now that I have that assembled, those two are fully assembled. Click on that, and then we start setting up for our conveyor system. With the conveyor system, what it does, it's going to make our lives easier due to the fact of we'll be able to run stuff now through and through and easily. Okay? So now that we have it in our build planner, all the stuff's going to start producing. So while that's doing that, now we're going to go ahead and do some tweaks. That's all right. So what we're doing is we got our refiner and assembler done. Now we're running a system to connect it to everything else to the rest of the base. That's what we're working on right now at the moment. All right, now that we have that good, we're going to go ahead and set this up. It's a little bit difficult when you do it this way. So you got to make sure you remember how your connectors are set up. So if I adjust this right there, that's good, that's good. Boom. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our conveyor lines. That's set up. Now we have that all good. So if you take a look, I have my conveyor lines, but I use these right here, the reinforced ones, because it helps with the aesthetic of the base and it looks like it's a floor piece. Alright, so here, what we're going to do, we are going to add another curve one. So boom. Now once this is fully built, if you take a look, our conveyor system is running all the way through once we get all these assembled. So let's go ahead and start welding. Alright. Now keep in mind, if you guys want to have the industrial refinery and the industrial assembler, you have to make sure that you have the DLC for it. These are DLC items. No mods, no nothing. This is actually a DLC item. You still can use the base game stuff, but a lot of the DLC items throughout, they have added some good stuff to it. Alright, get that going. Put that away. Still got stuff producing, so we're going to keep on going. Alright, there we go. Everything's working good. Now, we just keep on with the fun. So now once we get that all up and going, next step I want to do eventually is add the mods. Like I was telling you guys before, with adding the mods, it's going to make this more efficient. You're going to get a better yield, and you are going to have it produce faster. That's where the 3-in-1, the cube system, is going to come into play. Those of you that are wondering what is the 3-in-1 system, I'll show you. Where's it at? Right there. I'm going to take you to my main base real quick. We kind of talked about it a little bit on yesterday's stream, but those that haven't watched it or haven't watched the series of this, so what the 3-in-1s are, this is my main base that I've been slowly working on. So what the 3-in-1 system is, it's a cube versus the in-game mods for this. So if you take a look, these are the mods that you can attach on them, okay? So what it does is these 3-in-1s go and actually this block has all three systems. Has power efficiency, a yield, and a speed. So now you're able to place them, and if you take a look, you'll place them, and when you produce something, it's going to be fast. When it comes to the refinery, you're going to get a better yield. Meaning that because of me having that, this is how much materials I've gotten from having that. So just keep that in mind. The only problem is to make those, it does take a lot of materials, and you need to have a little bit of every single resource in the game. Meaning that that's where the gravel shifter comes into play. The gravel shifter is going to help you get some stuff. Are you going to get a lot? No. Because if you take a look, We've only collected a little bit of everything, but it's not refined due to the fact that I don't have the industrial, I don't have this refinery. Now that it's up, it'll start producing it, but I need to have it connected. Just a quick breakdown of that, real quick for you folks. Keep that going while that does its thing. Let's weld up the base. Oh, the infamous saying, energy low. I'll go ahead and finish welding this up and then go charge up. There we go. Sit here for a minute while that stuff gets going. And we are charging ourselves up while the base over there is doing what I needed to do. So if you guys take a look at while we're here, if you guys take a look at, see how the solar panel's set up at the base? Trying to get a good view out of it while I'm recharging from it. So what it's doing right now, it is following the sun. It follows the sun's path. We walked through this with you folks yesterday on yesterday's stream and on the episode. The nice part is this system is a no script system. So if you're playing on a server that doesn't allow scripts, it's definitely a process to do. And I am working on the process for the episode. I'm doing the editing right now for it. Just so you guys can see a step by step on how I built it. All right. So we got a couple more pieces we got to add to the build planner. All right, got the build planner going. And let's get that stuff making. All right, we're going to need to go get some more ice. So while that does that, let's go ahead and grab this miner, attach it. We have some ice over here around the base that we can grab. Ice is something, those of you that are new to the game, that you're going to need. It's one of the more important ones, in my opinion, for that you'll need because you'll use that for your oxygen and your hydrogen tanks above everything else. So same process. Ship got a little bit heavy. So now we're going to let that dump itself out and then we're going to continue. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to today's live. Right now, just waiting for our ship to empty out all the stones so we can keep on going after some ice. What I should do is make this hole a little bit bigger for us. Oop, didn't want to do that. There we go. Works out perfect. All right, let's keep it going. Switch that to recharge. Now we'll let that charge up some. While that's doing that, we should be able to. I might as well get rid of some of this. We should have enough to be able to connect everything, and then we'll turn on the assembler. Now, we don't have anything in the build planner. So now what we can do, we don't want to be producing anything else from the basic refinery. So we're going to go ahead and turn this one back on. We're going to cut the connection right here. Now, everything that's in here, we're going to go ahead and take it out. We're going to transfer it into this container. Because now we will be using the industrial refinery and the industrial assembler. Let's get this one taken down. Have that one. We won't be using these anymore, so let's go ahead and take it down. Boom. Now everything's going to be focusing, going right through here. So I need some small tubes. There you go. Now if you take a look, now we're going to be producing everything from these two things. See how it's going through, getting everything all converted from ore to ingots? Next thing we're going to want to do is grab this. We're going to go ahead and empty this one out because now we're going to shift it. I like to shift it over there. Move this from here. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and build it. How do I want to do this? Do I want to do it here? I don't want to block the spot for the mod. So what we'll do is build it right there. And in that process, since we have it already on us, we'll go ahead and dump these down. And we can begin the fun process to using the building the 3-in-1 cubes whenever it decides that it wants to do it. All right. So for the 3-in-1, here they are. So for the hyper one, that's what we're going to need. And then we'll go ahead and start plunking them. Boom, boom. All right, so there we go. Got these bad boys all connected, so once they're fully built, we'll be producing stuff like there ain't no tomorrow. Get these all welded up. Looks like we're out of steel plates. But these are important. They're good to have, but they're not a must, must, must. So we're going to build these as we go. Right now, my next goal is we have to get the connection going to where we're going to put the cargo containers. All right, we're going to have to take down this jig. We're going to go ahead and start the line setup for our cargo container. We're going to need some interior plates. Let's get that going there. We're going to put a conveyor converter here. There we go. If you take a look, everything is set up good. Then from there, we're going to switch this up. Here's going to go, one of them's going to go right here. Once we get that one down, yep, got that one there. Oop, wrong button. All right, we're going to put another one right here. We'll go over here. And the same process. Get that one up here. And then once we have that all set up, we should be good to start getting everything welded up. So now, Get our large cargo container here. Attach that one right there. We'll go ahead and attach that one right there. So now, when we set up Izzy's and have this all set up, what Izzy's is going to do is going to automate this base. So every time it crafts something, it's going to take it from the refinery or the assembler, and they're going to put it either, if I made tools, we'll put it in a bin for tools and weapons. I'll put it in another one for iron and ingots, and then it'll put another one for components. Where's this wolf at? I just heard him. There you are. Just don't know how to leave me alone. Alright, so next step is going to be, I'm going to start here, here, here. I'm going to start getting all these into my build planner so we can start assembling everything we need. Right, while that's doing its thing right there, what we're going to go ahead and take advantage is we're going to get some more iron we have enough of. So the next thing we got to get is we're going to go see if we can find something with gold and silver. I have an idea where I can find it. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for stopping up on today's live stream. Hope you're having a great day. Let's go ahead and look, see where we can find some. That's the silver. So if I fly up, usually I've always noticed that when I find a silver rock, gold and silver is not too far away. I've already checked there, so I know it's not there. Let's take a look over here. Go ahead and go down. See if my ore detector picks anything up. Nothing. Okay. Let's keep on looking and see what we can find. Usually if you fly up, so if you take a look, you see those black, you see some black marks. When you see the black marks, it kind of usually lets you know that there's something there. But sometimes they can be deceiving when you're looking at it, so you got to be careful. Straight down. Nope. Alright, let's keep on looking. Let's take a look. right here. So you see how the ground looks right there? That's telling me that there's some kind of deposits right there. See how you see the black spots? Question is it what we need? I gotta be careful not to go down too fast. Silicone, 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 magnesium, ice, silicone. Yeah, see, nothing here is what we need. We gotta do is find a gold. So let's fly up again. Let's see if we see anything. We'll keep on going. Alright, there's some right here. See what we have here. What are you? Iron. Give me something good. Iron, iron, iron. It's like I always told you, my curse in this game. It's either finding cobalt or finding gold and silver. That's all iron. Which, don't get me wrong, we're always going to need iron. But right now, I'm kind of in a mission to locate gold and silver. Those of you that are watching, let me know what's your kryptonite that sometimes takes you forever to find. We all know that uranium is spontaneous, but we have to be up in space to get them. So let's exclude uranium. Unless you really do have a hard time finding uranium, then definitely let me know. I remember one time on this server, I found a deposit. It was a gold deposit in an asteroid. Not gonna lie, this thing looked like it was a tumor. Ah, bingo, gold. Now that's what we're talking. Went down a little bit too much. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Come on, there should be some here. So what we're gonna go ahead and start digging down. Till we get to it. Because we are going to need the gold. There it is. Bingo. We're going to need gold so we can make our superconductors. There's other components that we can use to make it. Let me back this up a little bit so you can hear me. There's a couple other components we can use to make it, but that's going to be one of the key ones. Only thing when you're getting gold, sometimes I've always found it where it's like it's been a nice little thin line all the way around. It hasn't been a case of where it's been a big chunk like some of the other ones you collect in the game. This may be the exception. Let's keep on going, collecting some more. I'm getting rid of some of the stone. Let's go ahead and let them get rid of some of that stone. What I could do is attach another one back here to this connector, which I think I'll do that. So that way I can get rid of all that stone. Yeah, I may consider that. Just to help us get rid of some of that stone quicker. I usually, when I build this miner ship, I always build with the connector in the back. This is the first time I did it with the one in the bottom. Wanted to try something different to see how I like it. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for stopping up today. During this live stream, we're up there working on upgrading the base to the last tier of the refinery and the assembler. Appreciate you stopping up today. Those of you that weren't tuned in earlier, I did make a mistake when I was out collecting resources. I accidentally crashed the bottom of the ship and lost the battery and a couple thrusters and had to repair it. That was a good old time. I had to go back and clip that. Alright, let's go ahead and collect some more stone, some more gold. Let me back this up a little bit. There you go. So the noise isn't driving you guys too much crazy. Actually, what I'll do is I'll turn down the volume so it's not so overpowering. All right, while this is dumping out, I will be right back. Oh, let's finish dumping out, I guess. Cool. We're gonna keep on going. Never mind. Let's keep on going with this. All right, while this empties out, I will be right back, folks. Go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and put that on there. All right, I am back. Thank you guys for stopping up. Now that that's all done and emptied out, we're gonna keep on going. Had to get my quick coffee build. Give my go-go juice, as my wife likes to call it. All right, so what we're gonna do now is actually, this is something you want to do when you locate something. What I like to do is I go here and I GPS it. So that way I know exactly where it's at. So we'll go ahead and put GPS. So usually based off of what I remember, you normally, when you do this, you normally are lucky to find silver around where there's gold. So I'm going to take advantage while I'm here. See if I can find some silver, because we're going to need silver to make our upgraded medical room. And additional to that, make our pods where we can now log off and don't have to worry about our character dying nonstop. Because for some reason, it's been an ongoing issue in the game. I've noticed that your character, if you log off and you're not in one of the pods, next time you come on, you're dead. Your character's dead. You lost all your stuff. So what I do until I get to that point, I empty everything out into a cargo container. Because there's nothing worse than having your tools fully upgraded. There's silver right there. Nothing worse than having your tools fully upgraded and when you log back in, guess what? You done lost it all. Same thing with server resets. When server resets happen, it's kind of a nuisance. I would prefer. I know these guys with the Demi Wolves, they're working on getting the server reset notification, letting you know that, hey, server's going to reset in 5 minutes. That way, at least gives folks a chance to get to their base, empty out if they don't have one of the pods, so they can log out once the reset happens, they don't lose their stuff. That's gold, but what I'm trying to get to is the silver node. All right, now that we got the silver, same process. What I like to do is I put the planet that it's on, okay, and then I put what it is. Then I put it where it's always visible, so when I need it, I know where to go to get it. All right, we'll work our way to it and continue our fun journey. Once we have the cargo container set up, then I'm going to focus on moving where these ships are docking in the base. But for right now, this works out good. Let's go ahead and get these going. Right, so we're gonna have to take a look, see what's going on that the iron isn't producing. Refinery. Okay, so here's what's going on. The refinery wants to be stubborn and wants to produce the cobalt like always. So I kind of want to force it to do what I want it to do. So what we're going to need to do is now we're going to need to go and mine ourselves some more iron. But the issue we're having is the ship empty? Yep, the ship's empty. Perfect. What we're going to go do is go ahead and take advantage and mine ourselves some more iron. That's where I said it's like a back and forth nonstop with the iron. I could go to my main base and grab the stuff for it, but the whole purpose behind this is you guys seeing step by step everything I have to go through. Everything, we go through as players, and those of you that want to play the game, the process of elimination. Because to get to where I got that base to, I still had to do the same process. But for me, the process, I don't mind it. Let's see here. There it is. And of course, the usual gimmick. There we go. Keep it going, and we will get it all up. Oh my. You can tell the ship's a little bit heavy. All right. We're out of that part. Now let's go to back to the base, stock this up, and get it producing. Start coming up to the base. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to today's live stream. Oop, oop, a little bit too heavy. A little bit too heavy. There you go. I already had that issue happen to me once today. Don't want it to be a second. All right, let's take a look. No, what we want to do is I want to go ahead and force it because the refineries want to make the Stuck on wants to produce that cobalt, but I don't want it to do the cobalt. I want it to get these irons done so we can keep on going. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to today's live stream. We're working on upgrading the base. I hope you're having a great day. All right. Now we got the components making. We got the cargo containers done. Now we just got to finish up doing the connection. Once I do this connection, we are going to get Izzy's up and going. And you'll see what Izzy's ends up doing to make it fully automated, make the base fully automated. After that, then we'll start the process of getting these hypercubes done. Once these are done, it's going to be a good old time. All right, looks like everything is done processing. Let's go ahead and pull those out. Our batteries should get charged up. All right, once that's all set up, now we have that set up. Next phase is we are going to set up Izzy's. Just got to find the program block. It's event controller programmable block right there. I'm going to go ahead and get that programmable block set up. All right, with that being set up, I'm going to take advantage and go ahead and get some steel plates making in the mix. All right, now that the programmable block is good to go, what we are going to do, we are going to place it right here. Get Izzy's. Now, when you set this up, it's a script system. Izzy's is a script system. So just keep that in mind. Now, some private servers do not allow scripts. So you just got to look at the server details when you first log in to see if they allow it. If they allow it, good. If they don't, unfortunately, they may have it where it's a script or row. The way it works is the way that works is it does the way it does. Sorry, I had somebody trying to spam the the stream. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so what that does is some servers will have a scripter role, meaning that the longer you play on the server, eventually you will get that scripter role. There's some that may work, some that may not. So those of you that do play on servers like that, just keep that in mind, okay? I personally like to play on a server that lets us have scripts due to the fact that I can run Izzy's, make my base automated instead of having to click and drag and put it where it goes. Now the base does it itself. So those of you that enjoy that, you can do that. You can do it with the sorters. Sorter processes will work. I know a lot of people have made some great videos on it. So now what we're going to do to program it, you're going to click on make sure you're in an automated program. Go to edit. You have to be subscribed to it. Go to browse scripts. As you see, I use it a lot. So click on that. You're going to click on copy to editor. Then you're going to click on check code. Compilation successful. Okay. You're going to press OK. And then what it's going to do is going to set everything up. And as long as you have all your terminals properly set up, Izzy takes care of the rest. Now you can go in there and edit it depending on what you want. You could set it up based on all kinds of features. You could troubleshoot it if you have an issue. You can make it where it does auto crafting. With the auto crafting, you could put how much do you want it to auto craft. So auto crafting 110 with wanted amount of 1,000. So every 10 equals 2,000. Every 10 equals 1,000. So if you put 20, you're going to make 2,000 of them at a time. As long as you have the components to craft them. You can set that up. You could go through here and it's a lot of fun stuff. I usually leave it base as it is. I don't make any modifications because I like the way it runs itself. So as you take a look, as it's going through, and then it'll tell you right there any issues you have. You may have something where something isn't properly connected, couldn't be transferred to cargo terminal half. Okay. So what it's saying is cargo terminal here, it's full. So not no more can be transferred to it. All right. But now if you take a look, these are emptied out. Okay, so it took everything from here and it took it. See, tools box, 0%. Ingots, put all your ingots and everything else there. Components. So a little extra thing I like to do is I go through and I color code them. So this is my raw materials and whatnot. So I'm gonna put that as red. Then I put my components as blue and my food and my tools as yellow. This is something I like to do a little bit different. So make sure when you do that though, make sure you set your color to your base because if you don't adjust this properly, what it's going to do is everything you build moving forward is going to be those colors. So with that being said, just kind of keep that in mind. Now that we have Izzy set up at the base, I know yeah on yesterday's stream I had a couple of the followers they were mentioning about Goat, they mentioned about Pam. I have to do a little bit of research into Goat. At the time, it's Goat sounded great, but it's fairly similar to Izzy's. Another one that I'm looking to try script wise. I normally only run one script when I play on servers that lets me have it, which is Izzy's. Besides that, I run no other scripts. But they mentioned one about Pam. That one sounds interesting because then it makes your ship into a drone. I don't know too much about it. Got to do a little bit more research on how to set it up. But it's supposed to be a great feature for it. So now what we got to do, we're going to make these bad boys start getting these going. Actually now, since we have this already set up, now that we have this already set up, what I can do is actually take these down. Okay, get myself set up with the other aspect that I like to have, which is a quality of life. It is a DLC item, so you will have to purchase a DLC for it. Which is this lovely piece of equipment right here. All right, we're going to do it right here. What this does, it's nice to have at your base because now you can access it, dump it, and it transfers all the stuff to the other one. Another one that I like to have as well is the refill station. What this does now, it speeds up your filling of your hydrogen and everything else. Right now we have the hyper stuff being made. So once that hyper stuff gets made, we will start yielding and producing more items. Actually, do I have any steel plates left? I need a steel plate. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Do I have some? Yeah, I do. Let's go ahead and take these off. And now watch. Because of Izzy's, the way I have it set up, watch what Izzy's is going to do. Whoop. Take it from there, and it'll transfer it over to the container where it properly goes. So kind of keep that feature in mind if you decide to go with Izzy's. Again, in my opinion, it's a great tool. What we're gonna do is the only downside is depending on some servers the hypercubes don't show up right off the bat. Some you have to use a progression bar. If you use mouse and keyboard, all you got to do is press G, and it'll take you to your G menu. Take a look. We just burned through a whole bunch of. We're gonna let that craft itself. Get all that going. If you take a look, I always after underneath the cargo container, I like placing a conveyor because now it gives me more flexibility to run everything else how I want it to run. So now the next step we're going to do is we're going to attach. We're going to grab from here, attach out connector so the ships can connect now from here instead of having to go over there and connect. Then we'll enclose everything up really nice and then continue the rest of the base. Now, those of you that follow this system on servers, you have to be careful because people can come and break your stuff down, especially if you're on a PvP server. Even though if it's a PvE, we all know how it goes in survival games. There's some people out there that they're not the best players out there and they have a lot of malicious intent. The Desert Wolf staff do the best that they can to mitigate it. And if your base does something happen to it, and if you can either one, it's a PvE, so it's no PvP yet. Um, so they'll go through and do the necessary precautions and give that person either a warning, request them to return back the items that they took, or depending on the situation, it's a perma ban. They do have a Discord with all the rules in it, and I will attach that below so you can join their Discord. You can see all the games that they have. So if you take a look from the assembler, it takes it to its designated location, which is by far one of my favorite aspects within the mod itself. And it's a process. So while that does its thing, let's take a look how we're looking on ores, which is nice because now we can just go like this. We go ahead and get some more gold by the looks of it. Checking the refinery, make sure it's not in the queue, which is being produced. So the nice part is as it's being produced, we can do that, or we can continue going down a different route. So while this is all processing, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the main base, and I'm going to keep on working on my little project I have going on for myself. So I'm working on getting this ship built. Still debating if I want to do a cargo hauler with this ship or do I want to make it into a combat ship. This is all being used off of my main base, not the streaming base. That's my base that I personally played through. But I kind of want to show you guys. I know I showed you guys yesterday on the stream everything I've done to it so far. I do have a couple mods on it. Like if you take a look, I have the tier 3 thruster mods to help it move up. I have some thrusters that go down. I believe I added some gyroscopes. All right, it looks like I didn't add no gyroscopes. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage and add the gyroscopes in there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take this out of our build planner. Let's go with the gyroscopes. So for a ship this size, I am going to put 6 gyroscopes. The mod gyroscopes are nice, but they're a little bit too touchy for my taste. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take advantage and get this going. All right, we'll go ahead and start getting those producing. If you take a look here at the base, since I have everything all set up, look how fast it's producing all my components. And again, following the same build process, when you build, have it connected, and then when you're done, you just disconnect it and call it a day. Let's see how we're looking on here. All right, it's still filling up. Stockpiles on. So they're roughly about 30% right now full. We do have some batteries. We do have some. We do have a warp drive or jump drive, as they call it in the game. We're gonna go ahead and all the components should be made at this time. Yep, all the components are made. So we're gonna go ahead and pull them out. All right, so remember what I was telling you guys about this charge station? So take a look, the refill station. I call it a charge station, but the game itself calls it a refill station. With the refill station, the nice part about it is you can just refill yourself up even faster, your energy and everything faster than you could at the med bay. Look at that. Now, this is a DLC item. So with that being a DLC item, you will have to purchase the DLC that goes with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread this out. I think what we'll do is put one here, put one here, put one there. I'm going to try to spread out the love on these because if anything happens while we're in space, I do not want to lose our inability to be mobile. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3. That's 5. Just in case one of the NPCs takes us down. All right, we're going to go ahead and weld these up. All right, to go get the rest of the stuff. The nice part is if you connect everything through the conveyor system, now you can go to any single one of the terminals and actually collect all the stuff. All right. So here we got that. Gyroscopes, generators, oxygen tanks, hydrogen tanks. We got everything else. Let's see what we have. It's a tier 3 thruster. That's a tier 2s. All right. So with that, looks like we have everything we need based off of what I'm looking at here. Taking a quick look, I'd like to sit. All right, thank you for stopping up on today's stream. How you doing today? Let's go with the fun, collect more gold. All right, let's keep on going. All right, what we're gonna do is we eliminated the dump because I want to take some of that stone and convert it into gravel so I can start generating more of all the other items. We're gonna go over here, go to the streaming base, and we're gonna keep on going. This is gonna hurt. Ship's a little bit too heavy for its own good. Looks like one of the thrusters ended up taking damage. Yep, we ended up losing a thruster. Let's go ahead. All right, everything else looks good. Now that repairs are done, let's keep on working on our stuff. Drop that there, drop that back in there. We're good to go there. Dang it. I always forget that since both ships are here, that I always forget to turn them off. One of the key things, if you're going to have multiple ships, make sure you have them set up and turned off before you dock them. All right, now that we have that going, see here, we keep on working on upgrading these items. It's producing the gold. As it refines the gold, the nice part is we'll get those going and we'll be good to go shortly. Once those are all upgraded, you'll be seeing the difference. All right, we got all of them all assembled up. Now you'll notice the yields that are going to be coming from it. Once this is fully done producing, you'll be noticing how much yield do all these have. All right, since we have this, let's go ahead and get this bad boy going. All right, perfect. Now we have the refill station going on. So the nice part is now we can refill our stuff up. All right, so the next goal that we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and get a new, where's that? We're going to put a new med kit down, med bay, gives a better respawn, and we are going to make a cryo chamber. So when we log off, our character doesn't keep on dying. We're going to go ahead and get those producing. Go ahead and get some iron ingots in here. Okay, we got that going. And as that is all producing, get all our stuff fabricating, and we should be good to go. Next step is where those guys don't ever stop. So the next thing what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add, we'll get our cryo chamber down and we'll get our med kit down. So let's go ahead and get our med kit, and then we'll attach the cryo chamber to the med kit. So that when we log off, we don't have to worry about our character being passed out. Now, there's a couple different ones. I like to use the one from the DLC just because I think it looks cool. That's just my personal opinion. I'm going to go ahead and assemble that. So once we assemble this, we can actually get rid of that survival kit, because now we have our own place where we can spawn at. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change the name of it to Streaming Base. All right, that's all set up. Now that that's set up, now we can go to the next part. Now we have our cryo chamber. With our cryo chamber, what it does is we can go in here and we can log off. It's a good way to recharge as well if you want. And then it's all connected, so it's all connected with the hydrogen system and everything like that. So now what we do, we're going to chop this bad boy down. Okay. we are going to add a connector because I still want, because since we still haven't moved everything else from there, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put one of these temporarily. Go ahead and put one of these temporarily because eventually the oxygen generator is going to be moved from there. But I still want a way to keep all this tied in together. Just for now. Eventually, like I said, I'll take those off. All right, well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and call this one a stream. I appreciate you guys stopping up today. You guys take care and you guys have a great day.